Howdy-ho, everyone. I'm Nathan Blake, and welcome back to Control. This should be episode 3. You're going to notice a major lighting change on my face. This is pretty much just an experiment. This video is going to look like this. Probably none of the future ones will, because I don't know that I like it this way. But I wanted to give it a shot. I kind of mentioned it in the last video. I asked you guys for your opinion. Whoops, wrong button. And so now we're going to see what we think of it actually being this way, and then you guys can make an informed decision on it, which one you like more, which one's more, which one feels better, which one's more cinematic. Do you prefer for it to be cinematic looking, or do you prefer
Emily
for
said that the hotline can be reached through the mailroom.
Hello? Hello? I don't know who you are, but you should shut up now. So I can only get in here if I use my powers. My new powers. So yeah, you know, like I said, this camera angle lighting situation, probably gonna only be like this one time. So if you really hate it, don't worry. If you absolutely love it, definitely let me know down in the comments, because I'm kind of leaning, I'm not really leaning away from it exactly, but like I see it being not as good of a, let's go launch energy cost downgrade. I think that sounds good. I definitely see it as something that maybe has less benefits than it has drawbacks. So let me know if you disagree with that. Damage while health is low, plus 38%. I don't need that at the moment. We did get some good information last time that we did not look to see about. So let's go ahead and double check some of that. Let's see, floppy disk. We did watch this, so we don't have to watch that one again. But over here in the case files and stuff, we did get some stuff. So floppy disk. Oops 5 must be contained in a cell with other loose material. The object is with no other, that's an important distinction, with no other loose material. The object is an 8-inch diskette containing Soviet-era nuclear launch codes. When bound, the object allows I have to figure out how to say this word. Para-utilitarians to telekinetically lift material and throw it a short distance. See Dr. Darling presentation 11.15 for more information. The object is currently bound to blankety blank for research purposes. Stolen from a Soviet military base located in blank by agents blankety blank and blank with the CIA. The diskette contained launch codes to blank missiles, believed to be reserved for use against blank. After being returned to America, the diskette began throwing computational hardware at members of the decoding team. An informant in the CIA tipped the Bureau off, and it was requisitioned by agents the next day. Okay, so yeah, it's you know, not really much more information than we had before, but there you go. But we do have some new HISS information here, so let's figure this stuff out. The Rangers are the Bureau's well-trained and well-armed expeditionary forces. Their HISS corrupted counterparts are equally formidable. Prior to corruption, Rangers were trained to use a variety of weapons in order to face any threat found during awe, response, or threshold exploration, including submachine guns, assault rifles, and automatic shotguns. HISS Rangers utilize these weapons as well as the advanced tactics taught by the Bureau instructors. Some are additionally outfitted with Bureau-made body armor. HISS Rangers have no observed paranatural abilities beyond some being protected by a shielding of dense HISS resonance capable of stopping bullets. Considering the advanced training the HISS Rangers are capable of applying to their situation, is it feasible to consider the human mind still remains intact to some degree? Or is the HISS able to tap into the combat training and utilize it? Further observation is required. Refer to file blankety for full report. I'd assume that it's more like brainwashing, if I had to guess. The Bureau only allows certain highly trained individuals to handle volatile materials and weaponry. Our demolition experts are instructed in the use of explosives in dimensions with distinct physical laws, making them important assets for engineering work as well as combat situations. HISS demolition experts are the only observed HISS variations to wield the specially built rocket-propelled grenades that is designed to identify and track blankety entities once fired, making them a threat whose termination should be prioritized in combat scenarios. I find it remarkable that the hiss restricts usage of this weapon to the Bureau personnel who train specifically for its use. What does this tell us about its behavior? Can it not pass along new information to corrupted entities? Still too many unknowns. Refer to file blank for full report. Yeah, it continues to me to look like it's brainwashing more than anything else. The hiss may or may not be some sort of entity with its own ends, but I don't think it's like a hive mind that's like connecting all of these people and making them one being. I think it's brainwashing all of them and giving them specific orders. So essentially it's saying, you know, screaming hiss. You know, I think it's more like, hey, I'm going to give these guys orders. You use your abilities to protect this area. You use your abilities to stop this person. You know, like those sorts of things. As opposed to being like, ah, yes, I've now, like, Borg-style assimilated all information and now capable of using it to hive mind all these people together and use them to fight you. I think that is less likely based on the behavior of the characters and stuff. So, let's see. This is the way I need to go, I think, to get down to where we're going to be. Okay, I need a key card to get in here. This is where I need to be, and I can't yet.
Maybe there's a key nearby.
Oh, okay, here we go. Maybe this is it. Is this the clearance one key?
This must open the door.
Okay. And I guess the main reason for having that be there is so that I can, like, now I know that I can get into other ones later on. And there's an objective over here. Oh, it's a control point. I'll be able to jump to other control points again. That'll be cool. Because I've only ever cleansed 1 or 2 and didn't have a reason to go back before. So now I'll be able to teleport back whenever I'm finished in this area and need to go back to the other area. This looks dangerous. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna say that this looks a lot like a room where, yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, hello. That's beyond.
They can fly it. Great.
That's pretty spooky. Run. I don't know what's happening, but it definitely seems more dangerous than I'm willing to. Oh, you have my abilities. Okay, so I've got to use bullets. It seems like bullets are the preferred way of dealing damage to dudes with my powers. Because he does not seem interested in. I bet you I could get him though if I caught him in essentially like the cross. Oof. Woo! If I could essentially catch him in an explosion caused by something. These are explosive. And so let's just. That didn't work. And now there's bad guys. Okay. There's new bad guys who are on the same level as me. Okay, that took care of that. So yeah, we're just gonna have to focus on using my gun on this particular guy, Tommasi. Oh, I wonder if there was a thing that said that the disc had been linked to somebody else before for experimentation purposes. I wonder if it's Tommasi. It might be that Tommasi was the last guy to use the disc before me. Does that mean that I have to worry about that happening to me? Or maybe the hiss was just able to access some of his previously used abilities in some way. Oh, I really like that you can you can throw things as soon as you pick them up, essentially. You don't have to wait for them to move across the room to you. You can do like a kind of like an instantaneous throw. Like that. You just be like, and I've got it, and now it's being launched. I wish I was a little more accurate, but I'm not, so we just have to deal with it. Yeah, keep keep botching all of your shots, dude. I mean, I can't really talk. I'm not really doing a ton better, but... Oh, ow. Oh, that was a rough one. Okay, I gotta get out of there and get some health. There's tons of health sitting around from when I was beating regular bad guys. So, let's do that. Ow again. Ow again. All right, Tommasi. You're gonna have to... Oh, gosh, there's a grenade. I guess I can throw grenades. That'd be cool. If somebody throws one at me, I can throw it back, I guess. Okay, so I believe there's some issues with my settings that are monkeying with some of the stuff that I'm gonna have to rejigger between this and the next video, but I can't mess with it now. So I've just turned down the in-game graphics by a fair margin. We'll see what happens. Don't kill me. I don't wanna die. I'm not a good enough shot for this right now. I'm not a good enough shot. I did manage a couple of hits on him just then, but... Come on. I really need to stop sucking at this so much. Where'd it go? Tommasi? Oh, gosh. What? I just ran... okay, sure, whatever. Okay, so we're back here again. This shouldn't be that big of a deal. We should be able to get right in, back in there. I guess maybe if I get up higher, maybe if I'm up on the upper floor alongside him, maybe that's the thing that I need to do.
They can fly now. Great.
Maybe I need to be able to just shoot straight across at him instead of having to look up to shoot at him. I think I missed every single one of those shots. All right, I think I'm just gonna have to be more careful with my shots. I've been doing that, definitely been doing a little bit more of the spray and pray sort of way of doing it, and I think that that is my problem, is I need to be aiming down the barrel and calling my shots with this particular bad guy, because normally my generalized sort of spray and pray thing has been working okay, but I think part of the reason for that is that the enemies are not as likely to try to dodge my attacks. So this time I'm gonna try being a little more specific about my shots. At the very least, dialing in a shot and then taking a few good shots on him, because he seems to stop dodging after a second. Especially if he's planning on launching a bunch of debris at me. A bunch of debris. This definitely is working better. Oh, gosh. I messed that one up real bad. I was really dumb on that one. Where'd he go? Where is he? Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me, where are you? Excuse me, sir? Okay, see, I was being really dumb, essentially, last time. I don't know what my problem was. And maybe it was a frame rate. It was my frames. The game had my frames.
I have a feeling he'll be back.
The game had stolen my frames. That was my real problem. Game kept stealing my frames. That's why I was missing. I guarantee it. His elevated agents display abilities similar to telekinetic competencies. Observed and Bureau para-utilitarians, some prefer to charge their targets, while others launch objects at them. Telekinetic attacks have been ineffective against the Hiss Elevated due to their own talent in the area. They do not use any weaponry except their own paranatural capabilities. Some Hiss Elevated have been seen levitating while strapped into chairs. This is likely the result of individuals being corrupted while undergoing cognitive recording in parapsychology. How are they able to use paranatural abilities? Is it possible that these individuals were bound to objects of power prior to corruption? It's also worth considering that the Hiss resonance can identify and express latent paranatural ability in the individuals it corrupts. Refer to blank for full report. Yeah, so I would assume that these are people who had...
The hotline should be past the mailroom.
Well, what does past mean? Oh, I see. What I'm assuming is that these are... I always pressed the wrong button. These are people who have, at one point, come into contact with some of the objects of power, and are now the Hiss is able to utilize the latent bits of the energy that are still in them from when they were using them. That's what I'm assuming. So, this game looks so good that even with the graphics turned down to medium, I barely notice a difference. Impressive. I am gonna fix some of the settings and make it where it works again. Essentially, it's my computer's still using NVIDIA Broadcast, which is the way it uses ray tracing cores in order to reduce outside sounds that I was using at the hotel. I don't have to use it anymore because my room here is very quiet and it's soundproofed and all kinds of stuff. So I really should have better sound quality here even without RTX voice on. But it's using cores at the moment, which is unfortunate. I should have known better. But also it's weird because I'm actually utilizing less of the computer's capabilities because I'm not running my camera off of it anymore. This is my Lumix G7, which I normally use for my channel. So it is kind of strange to me that I'm getting that as an issue now and never had it at the hotel where I was using more energy and response from the computer than before. It's weird. Anyway.
You're listening to America Overnight, mystifying the airwaves for more than 29 years.
Can I walk away and still hear this? No, not really. I have to be close to it. Darn it.
Thank you for staying up with us. Ghosts. We've had many callers over the years tell us of hauntings, voices, and other phantasmagorical phenomena.
Oh, that's interesting.
Today,
So they're
friend of the show, Dr. Quincy Reagan, tells his story.
tie this universe into,
Thanks.
like,
This is
paranormal stuff.
I experienced recently while staying at the Chili Pines Motel in Macon for
Chili
last
Pines.
year's SuspicioCon. I was in room 47. The night manager, an avid listener of the program, insisted I take this particular room. Now, the manager explained that years back, the body of a man was discovered under the bed.
Ooh,
Inside that
spooky.
wooden border that motel beds tend to have.
Oh, man.
The body had been there a week. He
Gross.
said guests had stayed there, sleeping with the corpse a foot below 'em. They
Yeah.
only found the body when housekeepers complained about the smell.
Don't like that.
Hauntings have been reported in room 47 ever since.
Ever since.
I happily took the room. I fell asleep pretty quick, checking under the bed first, of course. No ghosts visited me, no chilly spots or flickering lights, but
Is this
when I
phasmophobia?
woke up, I found myself under the bed.
Bum, bum,
It
bum.
was dark and stiflingly hot. Luckily, I was able to push the mattress off and crawl out before I suffocated. The night manager was kind enough to find me another room.
There you have it, listeners. What
Yeah, I
we
mean-
call ghosts take many forms.
I guess the
Quincy
other
was
person
brave
could have been
enough to tell
teleported under
his
the bed.
story, and I encourage you to keep calling and writing whenever you encounter
They just didn't get out in
something
time.
Strange, something you can't explain. Maybe you're seeing colors that we have no name for. Maybe your
How would you
posters
know?
exist. Remember, dear listeners, when no one else believes you, we do.
How would you see a color that you have no name for?
We'll be right back.
I mean, how would you know that it's a color that you have no name for? Because you would just see it and you'd be like, yeah, that's a color. And then you'd move on. Like, I mean, I guess if you saw a color you've never seen before, maybe? I guess? I don't know. Since our eyes are incapable of seeing colors that we don't already see, it's something impossible for us to consider. I know that other animals and stuff tend to have the ability to see light and colors on spectrums that we can't, because they have more ability to perceive them, like flies and spiders and stuff. But I still, like, that just seems kind of funny to me that they would. How would you answer that question? How would you answer that question? No, legitimately. You let me know. Boy, it's dark in here. Apparently, there's nothing interesting in there. Okay, sorry, just double checking around. They foamed these doors closed. That reminds me of that GTFO game where you can see foam the doors and stuff. I want to play that at some point. Looks really cool. Seen some people play it. Really thought it was a neat idea. But I haven't messed around with it at all yet. So, oh, Dead Letters is an actual area in this. Interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense. This is like the mailroom. So I'm just trying to search around real quick in some of these areas around here to double check that we haven't missed anything like that recording. So let me just check the other side right quick, and then we'll go ahead and move forward. So that should be good after we've checked the other side. Here's a whole office though that we haven't looked in yet, I think. Oh, hello. Yeah, there's something going on here. It looks like it's his specific. And look at the kitty. Yeah. Oof, okay, yeah. So I never know, is it touching the gunk on the floor or just being in the room? It's just being in the room. So can't do anything with that. Oh, but here's something. Here's Summit. Okay, reminder, redrafting any public-facing material. While pinning any notifications of death related to Willow please adhere to the following guidelines. Words to use. In the service of, regret, proud, will be remembered. No, we read that one before. It must be this one that we're looking for. Pay attention, Alberto. This is the last time I'm explaining this. Internal lockdowns are manually triggered events that lock one or all of the sectors by restricting use of the sector elevators, effectively locking staff in their sector until the emergency is handled. They can only be lifted via the directorial override in maintenance once the director is satisfied that the situation is under control. External lockdowns are a bigger deal. Nothing in or out of the whole building. It's only triggered by a code red containment breach, based on some complicated system that security and research slap together. It can only be lifted once A, the threat has been neutralized, and B, a high clearance individual gives the system the all clear. The process is not the same as a directorial override, so stop saying so in documentation. I know it's confusing as heck. I've told Darling 100 times to change it, but they're adamant it stays this way. Honestly, I don't think they even know how to change it at this point. Let's just make sure our staff understands how this mess all works, okay? Marshall. Okay, so essentially there are situations where we are going to... There are situations where the house locked itself down, and there are situations where somebody locks the house down. And so sometimes apparently the difference is confusing to people, and I didn't mean to be here. No. Oh, gosh! Okay, we died. I didn't mean to be there at all. Like, that was... Okay, after dying, you'll revive the most recently accessed control point. Okay, thanks, game. Big preach. Big preach. I just walked into a room. I didn't know it was gonna be full of bad guys. Honestly, I guess I was lulled into a false sense of security. Tell me I'm not gonna have to redo this fight, though. Okay, cool. No, I'm not. All right, well, let's go back up into that room then, because that's really interesting. I'm curious what that was now, honestly. Since clearly that was like an actual new area where we're dealing with... Oh. Yeah, we'll deal with this. I'm sure they don't need these computers for anything, right? I'm sure these computers are just like really, really, really unhelpful things that they don't ever use or need. There's probably no reason why they have these computers here in these special little cubes. One more guy left? Yeah, and he's the ranger. Actually, I think there's one more. There's a couple around. And one of them is a shield. So one of them's extra damaging and one of them's extra tanky, essentially. Actually, that guy seems to be extra damaging and extra tanky. I don't know. I guess he's just a higher level enemy, essentially, because that was difficult to deal with regardless. So, health recovery, launch efficiency. I guess we can figure out if our new launch efficiency is as good as our old launch efficiency, I suppose. Hey, it's better. Minus 8%. I dig that. Energy recovery, extra health. Okay, that's cool. It looks to me that we're gonna get new versions of the gun, either through the story or through leveling up or something. So that's interesting to know. This door is sealed, so there's literally no reason to come in here. Unless it was on one of these computers that I ripped into pieces. Oh, hey, here we go. Here's some documentation. Got a data breach here. Last month, our on-site server experienced an intrusion by unauthorized users. After a thorough investigation, it was confirmed that the user only accessed a video file, which contained portions of various Dr. Darling presentations. Investigators were able to track the user through their IP addresses. The following are confirmed identities of these users: Patrick Cerncines, Ruben Noguera, Ardo Colomaki, Christopher Mills-Brawling, Jocko Sharinin. These individuals are in breach of Bureau Code 91 and have been placed under surveillance by our external investigation team. Further action is pending. Okay, so before all of this nonsense happened, there was Bureau information leaked. That's interesting. So that kind of can, maybe play into some of this. If there was information that had gotten out into the public, then maybe the hiss is an external threat that was purposefully used against the Bureau, as opposed to just being something that happened to interact with, an object of power or a location at the Bureau that just happened to interact with the oldest house in a weird way, So, head of communications, Alberto Tommasi. Okay, so the person we were fighting is the person who's normally in control of this area.
Head of comms.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Well done, everyone. Strong campaign, perfectly executed, Alberto Tommasi. So this person is the one who's in charge of this section of the Bureau. It would make sense that the hiss got the guy who's in charge of listening to things on the radio and stuff. Butte. A spate of disappearances was traced to the home in the city of Butte, where Bureau agents discovered a translocative light switch cord. Bureau agents arrived at the home of a local celebrity located at blankety blank blank, which has been connected to a total of blank disappearances in the area. Agents found no one inside. While searching a closet, an agent pulled the light switch cord and disappeared from view. Another agent was selected to pull the cord in order to replicate the event. He disappeared as well. They don't really care much about their employees, huh? Both agents were discovered at the oldest house days later, found in a sealed room by rangers exploring a new area of the house. Light switch cord in the Butte's home closet disappeared during this incident. Oh, extra weird. Extra weird. So not only did it manage to do that, but it just was gone afterwards? What the heck? Also, it looks like they really, really like to communicate via these tubes. They stick these puppies in these tubes and send information. I bet that has something to do with how the oldest house deals with information.
The situation in Cuba has been evaluated by the relevant authorities. The mysterious illness affecting the staff at the U.S. Embassy in Havana was caused by sonic weaponry in the hands of a foreign power. Numerous personnel have damage to the inner ear, but most are expected to make a full recovery. Of course, the event also damaged their cellular walls, but we can't blame that on some stupid noise gun. Thank God no local doctors examined them first. Honestly, what are the odds an alternate item we show up inside a U.S. embassy? Talk about good luck, huh? So much easier to... Hey, are you still recording this?
Weird. Like, that's so strange because that is a real thing that happened. Like, obviously obviously has nothing to do with these altered things, but like I said, real U.S. embassy people in Havana actually were complaining of some sort of weird sound that they were hearing that was causing, like, legitimate health problems. That's so crazy. Like, I love that in games and movies and stuff when they try to, like, tie it into, like, some real world events that are especially weird and confusing and spooky. Hotline chamber. Because it really makes you feel, like, connected to it. It's like, oh, maybe this could be happening, you know, like, it's not, but let's see. According to the testimony, agents have been transported from Butte home to a roadside motel named the Ocean View Motel and Casino and discovered a room key by performing a ritual. See file MOT-01. The key opened a door marked with an inverted black pyramid, which they only learned after a lengthy period of trial and error. After pulling another motel cord found inside this room, they were transported to the oldest house. The disappearances of the home's owner and other locals of Butte have been attributed to the light switch cord. The Ocean View Motel is now known to have many doors and pathways. Since the occurrence, identical light switch cords to the one found in Butte home have begun appearing throughout the oldest house. At the time of writing, blank light cords have been found in the oldest house, located in the blankety-blank and blank sectors. These all access the Ocean View Motel, though how exactly this link operates is blank. But initial hypothesis center on the Butte as a blank blank. See Dr. Darling presentation 24.3 for more details. And one of the other interesting things about this sort of world that we're in is that you can always just say that there's more things, because it's like it's all classified and it's all like they're very careful about the information and no one knows unless it's all need to know basis. And Dr. Darling has all these different presentations and they just assign a new number to things. So there can always be more, which I think is really cool. That's why SCP is cool too. So like there can always just be a new one and they can just be like, yeah, of course this one's always existed and we just don't talk about it because we don't talk about any of this stuff. So the phone's ringing, obviously, but we're gonna figure out a few more things here. Hotline security log. Director Trench, Bill Everett, custodian. Trench, Everett, Trench, Everett, Trench, Everett. Bishop. Carol Bishop, custodian. There's just a random different person was the last person to go to the hotline. Also, I don't know. Pope? Bishop? I don't know. I just, that seems like it could be a weird connection. Like it could be like a fake name that she used. Or, you know, the creators of the game just like religious connotation for some reason. Oh, hello.
Motel and casino. Dream logic. The light switch cord.
Oh. Well, that cost me some sort of currency that I don't even know how it works. 10% of your source every time you die. Yeah, I'm figuring that out. Also, the heck, man. I even thought there was a piece of glass there. I thought I was looking... I don't know. No one warned me, okay? I didn't know. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I know I'm an idiot. Just move on.
The Ocean View Motel and Casino. Dream logic. The light switch cord. Door marked with the black pyramid.
Yep, I read that. Okay. Pull this cord. Boom, shakalaka. Did that change anything? Nope. Okay, let's pull the cord again. Because that didn't seem to do much for me. The law of catalyst light switch, the law of threes applies.
Whoa.
There we go.
Have we been here before?
That's fun.
No.
Oh, hey. Different symbols on every door.
Roadside motels across the country, on the road, on the run, under the radar. This feels like all of them, like something recognized from a dream.
Oh, is this the collective unconsciousness of road trip motels? I bet so. This is crappy American road trip motel, the collective unconsciousness. see America. Welcome to Montana, huh? Okay, so they know theoretically what state it's supposed to be in, even if it doesn't really exist. Or is the hotel a place that did exist that got somehow separated? It's always possible.
Anyone here?
I heard a door unlock. Rule of threes applies. Hey, we did get a door to unlock.
Key has a black pyramid on it.
Oh, I wasn't discovering something new. I was following the actual story. Oh, poop. I was hoping I was doing something cool. And I like the idea that I was doing something interesting. Okay, game? Oh, hey. Whoa. Whoa. I was doing something interesting. Oh. Each ding applies to a different room. There's nothing in them. They're all the same. I think they even have the same picture and everything, but it is opening different doors each time. Neat. I appreciate that game. Thank you. Thank you for making me not feel dumb anymore. I was thinking that I was doing something cool, and then I realized I was doing something dumb, and now I realize it was cool again. So, thank you. But that just brings it back to the first door. Okay. All right, so there's that, and I don't see... I wish there was paperwork around here to read, you know, like something intrinsic to the hotel. Janitor. It's all about the janitors, I tell you. Okay, here we go. I do have the keys to this, so that's all I need. Okay, what do we got going on here? Oh, hey, that's a screenshot from this game. 2, 3. Pick up the hotline. So now I'm in a dimension where, like a very similar dimension, but not the same one, where this staircase exists. Is that what's going on here? Weird. Super duper weird. I don't know how to feel. A hotline seashell is a transmitter bridge. Directors can call the board long distance. Complete the astral plane challenge. Okay. So, it's a shell? Apparently, these things reform themselves to be recognizable comparatively to the rest of the world. Hotline will allow you to extract interdimensional entities. Oh, okay. Everything's fine. Contact, not extract. Sorry. Okay, These things don't seem to mind being shot or have things thrown at them. So, I'm starting to think I'm just supposed to... Okay. Wow, okay. Starting to think I'm just supposed to move past them, essentially. Just not get near them. That's my plan now. Don't touch them. No touchy, bad touch. Okay. Sometimes her cornering is not as good as I want it to be. That's why I fell off earlier. It's not because I'm an idiot. Don't worry. Well done, dialed director. Contact us. Use a hotline collectibles menu. We expect compulsive weekly call. Wait, collectibles menu? They break the fourth wall. They know this is all a game!
It is a phone. It's an object of power. It doesn't connect to any typical network. A direct line to the astral plane and the board. And my hypothesis is, under the right conditions, to other planes of existence as well.
Which other planes of existence?
A director needs a team. My management team. These people know the secrets of the Bureau as well as I do. Some even better. Darling, Tommasi, Salvador, Marshall. Marshall especially, my head of operations. She sees right through me. She knows I don't like relying on people. The only person you should fail is yourself.
I did read that quote from him.
Things change when you become director.
That was really unhelpful. It did say psychic trauma on that one thing.
The hotline. I can reach Trench. Well, listen to him. He feels more like an echo. An echo with important info.
This sign right
I need
here.
to get back to Emily.
No, not that sign. The one on the other side.
People react strongly
Oh, it's gone.
when I tell them about you. Is it too soon to tell Emily? She might be able to help.
Very, very interesting. I'm pretty curious about it. But we're going to go ahead and read some of this stuff because we got a bunch of updates just now. And then we're actually going to call it an episode because I don't really know what the time stamp on this one's going to be because we did a bunch of having to like stop and jump around and stuff. But anyway. Containment procedure. Object should be inaccessible for use except for the director. Object is a 1960s era red Bakelite telephone. The rotary dial has been replaced with a black knob of unknown purpose. The phone weighs blank. The object allows the director to communicate with the board. If used by anyone other than the director, the object will cause lethal blank. See Dr. Dialing Presentation 11.6 for more information. The object is currently bound to Director Trench. The object spontaneously manifested in the director's office, placed on the desk. Director Northmore was the first known Bureau agent to use it. A battery of tests were run on the object, including blank and blank, but its origins remain unknown. Okay, very, very cool. Very, very helpful. Not really. Anyway, multimedia, we got this hotline one, which looks longer than the other one.
It's Dr. Darling calling.
Yeah, it's longer.
In 1978, a comms department intern heard the hotline ring and picked it up, going against every safety protocol in the manual. She never recovered, and the handful of witnesses required extensive memory repression therapy. It is a phone. It's an object of power. It doesn't connect to any typical network. A direct line to the astral plane and the board.
Kind of unfortunate that I have to
hypothesis is,
rewatch these things
under the
because
right
they just
conditions
put
to
more
other planes of
information in them
existence
the
as well.
second time.
our very own Ouija board. Only the director can answer it safely, and what he hears is kept classified.
Why is that? That's strange. I mean, I guess it's just because the board doesn't want anyone else to know. The only thing I can think. Okay, control points, hotlines, management team, Ocean View Motel, the coming storm, the directorship. Okay, well, I haven't technically heard any of these. Oh man, if they're like a minute long, then we've got like a whole 5 minutes
It
of.
took us a long time to learn how to stabilize the control points, the ley lines, the meridians of the oldest house. Darling found a way to soothe this beast. We discovered we must cleanse control points of all interference. It's my duty as the director, like Northmore before me. I couldn't manage it in my own house, at my home. I'll damn well do it here. Without the control points, the oldest house would swallow us alive. We'd be sealed inside an endless labyrinth.
Oh.
No one would hear our screams. If an enemy ever managed to corrupt the control points, it'd be over fast, spreading like a cancer, leaping over the fire breaks like a crown of fire. They are the weak point. Darling's right about that. He's wrong about everything else. Dangerously wrong.
What?
Suspiciously wrong.
What?
Has he been compromised?
What? I'm really confused now. But, I guess that's the answer to my question at the beginning of... Was this video or the one before? Anyway, I was asking the question earlier if they could rebuild the oldest house. And I think the control points are the answer to that. They can, but it's like convincing the building to be what they want it to be, essentially.
I can hear the hotline ringing in my dreams, constantly ringing. Ringing so loud I can't hear the voice I'm straining to understand. Why don't I pick up? It's a secure line of communication with the board. They would tell me what I need to know. Do I fear their answers? Would they have warned me of this threat? I didn't see it coming. The traitor in our midst, a conspiracy plotted right behind me. I can't trust anyone. I must assume all my intel has been manipulated. The hotline is the only channel I can trust. Bind it, control it. The rule and the ritual with objects of power. It can't be tampered with. The lifeline to the astral plane and the board. I must seek guidance. Soon. I'll rest first.
Actually,
I'm so tired. Always tired now. But I must reach the hotline. I think I'm under attack. An attack of dementia, exhaustion. It's a brain cloud making me forget. The hotline. I must reach the hotline.
things could actually be a little bit more backwards there. He's worried about Darling being compromised, but what if what if the hotline has been compromised in some way? Or the board is just not who they say they are?
A director needs a team. My management team. These people know the secrets of the Bureau as well as I do. Some even better. They have proven themselves. Darling, Tommasi,
Again, we've seen part of this one, but not all of it, so it's just gonna have little
especially,
things. It's frustrating.
head of operations. She sees right through me. She knows I don't like relying on people. The only person you should fail is yourself. So
Yes, we already heard you say that.
My own orders.
But that's new.
Northmore hated my guts for that. But things change when you become director. You suddenly see this dark void for the horror show it truly is, filled with screaming fear we pretend to control. Sand leaks through my fingers. The roses I pruned in the garden back when I still had a family, all dead. Heat
I guess
escapes my body. My thoughts are scattered. The universe keeps expanding. I can't keep up with it alone. When I forget that, things go wrong. And my team has to pick up the pieces. Damage control. To help me get out of my mess.
I guess the director is normally someone who is from the Bureau. Somebody who has been in the Bureau before for a while. So that's kind of interesting because I think that's not something that we necessarily knew up to this point because, like, the only time we've seen it change hands, it went to just somewhat random lady. So maybe usually it's kind of a chain of command sort of thing, even though there is a choosing process involved, and this time it wasn't. But I'm very curious about how the choosing process works now.
The Ocean View Motel and Casino is a familiar friend to me. I stayed in countless motels like it while investigating AWEs across the country.
Yeah, he used to just be a regular agent.
Field agent days. Those roadside motels all bleed together like a dream. Same and not the same. Anywhere and nowhere. The Ocean View operates on dream logic, and the light switch cord leaks out to be found in the most unexpected places. And sometimes successfully encouraged to appear and act as a convenient lock to keep out those not trained in dreamscape navigation. Even Bureau veterans can only find one key in the motel. The key that opens the door marked with the inverted black pyramid. The rest, the many other doors, are still mysteries to us.
Interesting.
We're all merely guests there. Even the board. Sometimes I need to visit, just to breathe easier for a while.
It was
It
nice.
beats the numb, sterile apartment I spend my nights in.
It's very
Isolated
pleasant.
from everything but myself. I guess that's where the whiskey comes in.
So they can actually sort of coax the motel to work the way they want to, but there's plenty that they don't know about it. Again, just so interesting in these sort of universes that there's always more, always something you don't
Something's
understand.
coming. The whispers growing louder. The worst winter storm in Bureau history. A retribution for my sins. Our sins. This threat could destroy the Bureau.
I wonder if he's talking about the hiss.
Built. Destroy me. A web spun, turning this place against me. I catch glimpses of it in the corner of my eye. It's just out of reach. Elusive.
Where'd it come from?
It's clever. A perverse game of hide and seek. Is this part of an attack? Obfuscating the facts. Dimming my eyes. It's hard to tell. I need answers. I haven't heard back from Darling. I fear for my friend, my closest ally.
Oh, interesting.
We made a terrible mistake all those years ago. That thing he studies is putting us all in danger.
Ooh, so he did know something
It's my
specifically.
duty as director to keep the Bureau safe. It'll be difficult. What's done can't be undone. There's no easy fix. Magical thinking is a requirement for survival. Pain and suffering are mandatory. To change things, you have to break yourself. I don't know if I have the strength. I'm old and weak. I'm afraid. I can see my hands trembling. I'm losing control.
So he and Darling found something back in the day and studied it, and now it's coming back to haunt them, is kind of what it seems like. That perhaps Trench and Darling knew a little bit about the hiss already, and that's why he was sort of prepared for it. He maybe invented the speaker things that protect you from the hiss long before now, and he had them in his back pocket ready to go. We expect independence and dependence. Your authority, chosen one. The Bureau game needs you. I see. The Bureau is outside of the game. They break the fourth... Well, not the Bureau, the board. The board is breaking the fourth wall. They know what's going on. Interesting. Okay. All right, well, I think that I'm going to go ahead and call it for now on that. Really appreciate you all being here. Thank you all so much. I know that this one's probably going to go a little bit longer than some of the other ones, but even before editing out anything, we're still right under an hour, so it should be fine. I'm really appreciating this. It's very, very cool. I know that some of these chunks like this, where we're pretty lore heavy, there's not as much action and stuff like that, but if you're as interested in the story as I am, then you've got to be loving this. So thank you so much for being here. As always, we'll see you in the next one. For now, this is Nathan Blake signing out for Nathanblakegames, reminding you the games are art. Art is important, and so are you. Please let me know down in the comments below what you think of the camera this way, because I'm kind of on the fence about it. I don't think I want it this way all the time, but I'll have to see the footage to really see. So anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Sayonara.